Hey friends, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel and greetings from Busan. So we got to talk about what is Warren Buffett up to, what is Donald Trump and Elon Musk up to, and how does this all relate together? So let's just start with Warren Buffett. He's selling stock. I'm just telling you, he's selling stock. I just saw the news today. He's selling some bank stock. He's selling Bank of America, right? So I mean, that's a pretty big warning sign right there. Bank of America, he's selling. He's also selling Citigroup, right, which is basically Citibank. I think it was 15% cut on his Bank of America stock and a 75% cut on his Citigroup stock. So maybe Warren Buffett sees some warning signs ahead regarding the financial sector and banks. Warren Buffett is buying a little bit of stock though, so don't think he's only selling. He is buying a bit. He doesn't actually buy that much these days. He's essentially sitting on a huge pile of cash, but he's buying alcohol stock. Constellation Brands. So if you kind of read into this, basically saying, I don't feel so confident in the banks, guys, but hey, I'm bullish on people drinking alcohol. So I know I laugh, but it's like, it kind of feels like that's a recession warning to me. I'll let you guys be the judge of that, but I don't think it's that hard to read, selling bank stocks, buying alcohol stocks. That's how Warren Buffett's responding to this stuff. And all the times, guys, what I always say, don't necessarily pay attention to what people say. Pay attention to what they do, right? And especially how they treat their money. Now, I'll give you an example. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they'll come out and say every day that they're the best in the whole world and everything's awesome. Especially Donald Trump. He'll tell you all the time that he's got the highest IQ. He's the smartest guy in the world. But this is what they're doing. They're cutting jobs. That's their focus, is cutting jobs, which is kind of bizarre because usually for a politician or a business person, right, as these people try to be, usually you want to be creating jobs for people. You want to tell people, hey, the future's going to be great. But no, they want to cut jobs. That's what they keep talking about. And it's absolutely insane. I'll just say this. There's a lot of pushback right now. I've been tracking this stuff. And basically what it is, they'll go into an agency. So we use the example of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And they'll say, you know what, we're just going to lay off everyone because we hate all you people. We hate people who are out there to protect consumers. We hate that. We want to cheat consumers, right? No, that's right. That's what they want to do. They want to fire one of the people at the bureau that wants to protect you. And essentially what they want to do is they want to create a world where people like Musk, people like Trump can run their scams and run their Ponzi's and skim as much money from you as they possibly can. So let me give you an example of why you want a protection bureau in place. Let's say you're in the market to go buy a home and you want to go get a mortgage, right? Or you want to get a home loan. And basically the mortgage, a place, maybe go to credit union, maybe go to, whatever traditional bank. And, maybe they don't charge you the best interest rate that they possibly could. Or maybe in the contract, in the fine print, there's like a little bit of sleazy language in there that's out to cheat you, to be perfectly frank. Or maybe there's like these crazy fees that will skim off the top and essentially cost you more money than you need to pay. There's no Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to protect you, right? Like you want these agencies in place to protect you from companies cheating you. That's what this is all about. And Musk and Trump want to cut these kind of agencies out to protect you. I think this is a really important issue. And on top of that, they want to cut jobs. It's absolutely insane. Moreover, I'll read these reports to where the Musk and the Trumps, they want to cut, jobs from the NOAA, basically people who track our climate change, people who could track our weather. And this is what this boils down to is they want to live in a world where companies can go out and cut down as many trees as they want. Companies can go out and like drill wherever they want, dirty our environment, poison your water, these kind of things. And like, guys, there has to be protections on this kind of stuff. There needs to be. I'll try to make it in the most simple terms possible. I used to live in China. I used to work in Beijing. And, when I was there were situations where we'd have these crazy dust storms. Like seriously, it was nuts. And like you couldn't go outside. It was unbreathable. You couldn't even see the sky. The sky would be like brown. It was awful. And essentially what was going on is there's like just too many factories going up too quickly, not enough clean standards on the factories, too many trees being cut down, this kind of stuff. That's the world you're kind of going into, right? That's the world that the Trumps and the Musks want. They just think like profits at all costs, right? Drive the price of every stock of every company and all go to the moon, etc. But sometimes, guys, profits aren't necessarily the only thing that is, good in this world. Like sometimes money is not the only pursuit that you want in life. And you know, it's ironic because the Republicans, I was thinking about this today because people have mentioned in the comments, you know, with say, for example, Musk, who has like 13 kids now, that was just announced. And remember there was a time when the Republicans and quote conservative people, they would like talk about family values and talk about these kind of stuff. But like, I don't think it's a crazy thing to say that a family value is about making sure that your home, your environment, your water, your air is a clean place for your children to play. And I don't think it's a crazy thing that, you know, your family, your home, your environment is you know, filled with, you know, rules and regulations to protect you, guys. I don't want companies out to cheat you all the time because that's what they're going to do. Guys, I lived in China. I'm just telling you, I lived in China. Like, there's so many scams there. It's actually insane. If you want to talk about Russia, right? Because this is sort of like the Musk and the Trumps kind of want to go to that more authoritarian rule. Because basically what it is, these type of countries, right? So let's say Russia and China, they don't have free speech, okay? And I'll give you an example. It was recently reported today that the Associated Press, I just saw it, I think they're banned from the Air Force One and they're banned from the White House. And they're what it is, the Trump people are really, really mad that the Associated Press won't use the words, is it Gulf of America? No, yeah, Gulf of America. I even forget because it's Gulf of Mexico everywhere else around the world, and you know, Trump, his whole like thing was like, we're going to rename it to, you know, Gulf of America, and the Associated Press hasn't started using that language yet, and like the Trump people are really, really mad. Now Reuters is supporting Associated Press in this, and we're going to see. I'm actually really quite curious if there's going to be a boycott of, say, the White House or Air Force One. It is a difficult time that we live in right now because these are the fights that the Trump people want. They want to, you know, rename, you know, bodies of water. They want to like take over Greenland, take over Panama. They keep talking about making Canada the 51st state. Like that's the stuff that they're interested in, and they want to fire everybody. That's what they want to do, and it's like, are you people insane? That's why you're seeing so much pushback around the country. It's not just in one or two places. It's like many places. You know, I'll give you an example. Every time they try to, you know, go out and fire people illegally, there's pushback because, you know, I'll give you an example with the CFPB already. The unions are fighting back, and I think I just saw today that the judge is like putting a halt to the Trump and Musk firing people. You know, you can't just do these mass firings on a whim. You're talking about union workers and also government workers, and usually, you know, it just happens, right? You know, usually when you do fire people, if you have to do it, you have to make some sort of justification of like, okay, this is why we're doing it, this is why you're bad, etc., or this is why, you know, we got to make these cuts. But like they're just like doing it wholesale, and a lot of the stuff could be with people that you really, really need. So I totally get that they want to cut the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau because, you know, they want to like run their scams all along. But like, think about something like this. If you start cutting people from, say, nuclear safety, which you talked about before, it's absolutely insane. There's certain people like you just need for our national security, or this is something that they're doing as well. They're cutting our FBI and our CIA. And you know, it's funny. I just saw a movie recently. It's called The Order, and I don't know if you guys saw this movie, and it gives a look into sort of like the importance of the FBI to protect us from essentially like people like a Trump and a Musk. The Order is about this, what word to say it? We'll just call it like a terrorist organization kind of thing, bank robbers, and there's a bunch of stuff like that, but they're kind of like this crazy cult, kind of like Musk, and if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And basically it chronicalizes Jude Law, who in that movie plays the FBI agent, who's like there to protect the public good. And the ironic thing about the movie is it portrays like kind of this musky sort of culty character, and that guy's got like multiple kids with multiple wives, like the same kind of thing as Musk, and they're just like, oh my God, what's going on here? I was just mentioning that movie because, you know, when I think about movies that I enjoy, or just, and that movie is actually based on a true story that took place at Whidbey Island in Washington State, if you guys know the story. But you know, the FBI, the police, like the people out to protect you are the good guys, and they essentially are out to protect you from the criminals. The problem we have right now is like Trump and Musk, the criminals, are you know, ruling the roost at the moment, and essentially what they want to do is fire all the cops. It's insane. And you know, there's going to be pushback, and that's what we're seeing around the country, where, you know, when the job you know, cuts hit your neck of the woods, when a family member loses a job or a friend loses a job, you're going to be like, this is nuts. Or when you really need that protection, you know, from the government. And it's weird because like from the whole Muskie and the Trump point of view, they want you to think the government's, you know, evil all the time. They're out to hurt you and to get you. But guys, there's things that, like, for example, I'm sitting here in a public park. I'm happy to have a public park. I think it's fantastic. I think it's important to having a healthy society, right? The same way having public transportation is fantastic to having a healthy, society where you can, freely go wherever you want to go and these kind of things. But the Musk and Trump, they just kind of want to cut all services, privatize everything. They want to make everything for profit, but not everything should be like that. I'll give you an example. From Musk's point of view, or Trump's, they want to cut education, okay? From their point of view, they're like, you know what? Let's fire all the teachers. Let's turn it all into AI, because that's the best way that we can profit off of education, right? They think, okay, if I can have all these kids, say, for example, doing Zoom classes, and we have one AI teaching, 1 million kids, well, think of all the money we could save, right? Like when you think about the whole world as only being about, profits and only being about pushing up that stock, that's the world you get. You fire everyone, you go for profits, but it's not a healthy society. It's not a healthy economy. And that's why I think, for example, in Warren Buffett's situation, he's like, you know what? I'm selling bank stocks. I'm buying alcohol stocks. I think, I'm bullish on alcohol. I mean, it's laughable and sad at the same time, but that's the world that we live in. And honestly, guys, I think we're going to make it through it, but I can't predict how long it's going to take before the Trump and the Musk crumble. Because the reason why I say they're going to crumble is because these people are liars. They're untrustworthy, and essentially what it ends up being is like they're kind of like this gang mafia, and they're all like lusting for power, trying to reach for the scepter, right? And ultimately, those people end up self-destructing because there's just too much greed there. So they're gonna fold eventually. I can't predict exactly which day, but the more I see it going down that path, it's gonna happen. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. I want to hear yours, and thanks for watching the video.